it's a lot. I wish I can just hold my mom and hug her and tell her that I love her. I wish I could do.
The remnants of an unsolved murder case still in the hearts of a Twin Cities family.
I cherish life because of this experience.
One of the hardest parts for me was having to tell my grandmother. And the doctors had to give her tranquilizers to stabilize her heart so that we could walk in the room and tell her that here's another child she's lost due to murder.
Dee and Deandra are the daughters of Cassandra Willis, a woman who was killed back in 1996.
My mom was love. My mom was sunshine. You know, as you see in her pictures, her smile was huge, you know, and that smile just radiated from her heart.
Investigators found Cassandra's body badly beaten, wrapped in a sheet of blankets, and dragged into a storage closet of a South Minneapolis high-rise apartment building.
And so they allowed a few of our family members, we had a few pastors in our family, to come and view only a picture of just her face with a sheet around the rest, because that's how bad she had been beaten and all the things that they did to her. They brutally murdered our mom.
Cassandra's body was decomposed. Officials believe the 36-year-old died a few days before her body was discovered.
We were robbed from burying her the way she wanted to be buried. Like, they literally had to peel the sheets from her. And that's what we have to remember as 15 and 19, you know. We couldn't give a open casket funeral.
They tell us Pumpkin, Cassandra's family nickname, was a beautician, often seen wearing purple, her favorite color.
And she was just that, a pumpkin. I miss her heartbeat. That was my favorite thing, to lay on her chest and just hear her heartbeat.
Nearly 3 decades later, police still have not found the person responsible.
This is something that impacts a family for generations.
No justice for Grandma, no peace.
So it is my prayer that Minneapolis Police Department, specifically for my mom's case, just take a thorough look and not just brush it off. Not just, oh, it's a 27-year-old case.
The sisters believe Minneapolis police largely ignored their mother's death and dragged their feet in the investigation.
So we went and we started investigating. We started getting names of people who were on the floors, who my mom's friends were in that building, and we started knocking on everybody's door.
Leaving them with more questions than answers and the burden of doing their own digging.
Everything is in this book. Here are so many conversations with different people, interviews that we did with each person. We typed them up. So many details. If you read some of this stuff, they're telling you what happened the last time they seen my mom.
Their persistence led to MPD re-examining the case in 2011. Our producers requested a copy of the findings but have not heard back.
And then as we had the investigation reopened, we learned that they never even tested her DNA. There was DNA, but they never tested it. It just felt like they treated her like she was just another number, like she didn't matter, when she really did. It's not fair that you guys didn't, put in enough effort to solve her case. How did we come up with all of these answers and we're not the police? Make that make sense.
A story that parallels the case of a young mother killed back in November.
We thought our fight was over, but I feel like it's just beginning.
Tiffany is the sister of Zaria McKeever, the woman who was killed by 2 teen suspects during a home invasion, according to police.
It's just a long process. We haven't really even had time to grieve yet.
The 2 teens were offered plea deals by Hennepin County Attorney Mary Moriarty that would have only put them in a juvenile detention center for 2 years. 3 others were charged in connection to Zaria's murder.
I just want the judge to really reject the plea and it to be looked at by the Attorney General's office and altered or even thrown out, whatever they decide, because like Keith Ellison said, the 2-year plea is too lenient, and it's the same as his brother. And if his brother wasn't the shooter, then why are they getting the same plea?
According to a statement by the Hennepin County attorney, she doubled down on the initial juvenile sentence, saying it's the best chance at accountability while preserving public safety.
She's not looking out for their best interests or public safety, and it's just really hard just to think that you know, like you have all this evidence and you just like let it slip away, and it's just really like, it's crazy. It's crazy.
We took into consideration all of the information that we had, including the fact that he was manipulated by an adult whom we are prosecuting aggressively, or we would have prosecuted aggressively had the case not been taken away from us.
Governor Tim Walz stepped in to appoint Attorney General Keith Ellison to the case after Tiffany and her family requested state officials intervene.
It's hard to have faith in the system at all, but I do have a better hope now that it's in someone else's hands. I think the pleas would have just been accepted if we were a quiet family, if we just would have lied down and took what was offered, but you gotta fight for what's right, and the plea was not right, so we're just trying to get it thrown out.
The 15-year-old who investigators believe pulled the trigger is still on trial. But as for the other suspect, his deal has already been signed by a judge, and he'll serve 2 years for the crime.
It was just a lot of things that was violating our victims' rights, so we just didn't trust them to even handle this case with care. They're supposed to be for the victims. They're supposed to be like for the victim's family, and she's forgetting like my sister had a daughter that she left behind, and she's the victim.
The Willis sisters believe the way law enforcement is handling both cases is no coincidence.
It's systemic. It's been systemic. When you think of other people as less than or not worthy or worth the time or the effort to have these investigations done thoroughly in a thorough manner, then that's when we get the outcomes that we're getting.
It's a big problem, and that's why I'm trying to work on something. I'm trying to get a law passed or something like in honor of my sister to protect women.
No justice for a punk and no peace. No justice for a punk and no peace.
In the midst of their cries for justice, the families want the public to remember that both Cassandra and Zaria were loved.
Just beautiful, happy. She was just a loving, caring person, just super sweet and nice to anybody that ever crossed her path. Like, she was really, really a good person. That's why it's so hard to believe that this even happened to her.
She always lets us know that she's all around us, whether it's a smell or a song or, you know, just a little different. A heart and a candle she found one year, you know, just little different ways. And we're like, okay, we see you, lady. So she will forever be with us.
As you can see, we're not giving up. Until I take my last breath, I will fight for justice for my mom, because I feel like our family deserves the closure. And at the end of the day, she was loved and she was somebody. She deserves to have justice.